So, hello everyone. I'm here to not exactly tell about my travel, but about lesson I took during this travel. So, few words about this travel. I've started it with my friend, also here from University of Economics, and we've started from Wrocław, traveled through Slovakia, through Hungary, through Romania, Bulgaria, then to Turkey, to Iraq, to Georgia, and Armenia, and all the way back. This whole travel was only by hitchhiking. We were always catching a ride and traveling only this way. So you might think that it is dangerous, going to Iraq, this crazy thing, and traveling by hitchhiking there is also very dangerous because people are dangerous, the environment, and everybody is bad there. But it is hard to be more mistaken. The people I've met during this travel were great. Really, amount of help, amount of kindness I received during this travel was really, really amazing. Okay, so maybe let's see some of my photos from this travel. It will make my mumbling a bit more interesting. Okay, so about people I've met. First guy that was amazing, I've met on the border between Bulgaria and Romania. I was standing there for about 12 hours trying to catch a ride, but only this guy stopped. He took us all the way from this border to Istanbul. It is few hundred kilometers, so it is enough. It is a lot of help, and we didn't expect much more from this guy. But he wanted to do more. He didn't want to leave us in the Istanbul during evening because it will be hard for us to find some hostel to stay overnight. Okay, this is this guy. This is Ali, which helped us. Okay, and this guy took us to his home, gave us food and shelter, and he even did more. He invited us to the mosque. He knew that we are Christians, but he wanted to show us his culture. He wanted to spend his time with us. He invited us to mosque. He showed us how Muslims pray. He invited us for a breakfast with his friends. It was really amazing. And you could probably think that this guy is very rich. He's got so much money that he can spend it on inviting strangers to his house and giving them food. But it is not true. He lives in a tiny flat. It is around 20 square meters. So it's not much. We slept on the floor, but it was great. Really, not even sleeping on the floor when somebody invites you is a great thing. Funny thing about him is that he almost didn't speak English. We communicated with him most by using few words in English, few words in German, and showing some signs. But he wanted to communicate, he wanted to talk, so it was great time. But there are many, many people like that you can meet all around the world. For example, Pam, lady we met in Yerevan, capital of Armenia, was a lady that hosted us also for a few days. She was a couch surfer, but not an ordinary couch surfer that keeps, I don't know, 2 people for a year in his house. At the time when we were there, in her house were living around 10 people. Few guys from Iran, few guys from Serbia, and some people from Poland. And so that was her way of life. Her way of life was being good, was helping people during their travels. And she was doing it all the year. She was always inviting people. She was always hosting somebody. That was her hobby. It was her way of living, being good. And interesting thing about her is that you might think that she is some kind of a young girl that lives like that, but it's not true. She is in the age of my parents, but she didn't lose the joy of life, joy of meeting new people, and inviting people to her house. But those 2 people, Ali and Pam, I've met in Yerevan and in Istanbul, are living in great cities, in capital. You might think that outside of the great cities lives different people. But it is also not true. And the most amazing guys I've met during my travel in Kurdistan. Most of you might not know where Kurdistan even is. It is a region between Turkey, Iraq, and Iran. It is not an independent country. This country is occupied, in fact, for many years, and it fights for an independence. The most well-known organizations from Kurdistan is PKK, Party of Working Kurdistan, which is in fact recognized as terrorist organization in United States and in the European Union. And when we were traveling through Kurdistan, we were in a bit of troubles. In Iraq, we lost our map, so we were traveling through Kurdistan only using tiny map on the back of our guidebook. On this map through Kurdistan, there was only one road, so we took that road, but it was not like a highway. It was a road which takes, I don't know, there were 3 cars for an hour or something like that. So we thought it would take ages to get out of there. But some guys stopped, showed us that they can take us to the next crossroad. Yes, we're happy about it. Always a few kilometers further. It is great. And of course, we could hardly communicate with this guy. Not many people in Kurdistan knows English, so we mostly show signs and things like this. But during the way, he gave us his phone, and through this phone we could talk with his son, which was speaking good English, and he told us that his father wanted to invite us to his house. Yeah, that was a great idea for us. Living in someone's house was like a fun for us during that travel. And so we took a ride with them. During the way through Kurdistan, there are many military outposts. On every crossroad there's military outposts. It looks like in Iraq. But on the military outpost we told that we want to go with those guys. They were asking us if we really want to go with those guys. Yes, yes, of course we want to go. And during the way, this guy told us that he is from PKK. And at the moment we get pretty scared. We didn't know a lot about Kurdistan. We knew only about PKK. So when somebody tells you that he is from terrorist organizations, you got pretty scared. We were traveling on pickup, so we were thinking about jumping out of the car on things like this. But we in fact were too scared to do even this. And it is good we didn't do it, because I think that was the best day of this travel. In this tiny village, we met his son and few of his son's cousins, which some of them speak some English, his son speaks even good English, and that was great fun. We were living with them just for one day, but that night was the first night of Ramadan, and all the Muslims around the world are celebrating this night. And they invited us to some kind of hot baths, to a celebration at some restaurants. They wanted to play some games with us, but we didn't even understood those games, but we were playing anyway. But from this, you might think that these PKKs are the great warriors for freedom, and the second side is the bad one. The Turkish occupation is the bad. The soldiers are occupying this poor land. But it is also not true. During the way out of this village, we were hitchhiking on this military outpost, and we even didn't have to hitchhike. Those soldiers gave us few chairs, told us to sit there, they gave us tea, and told that they will catch a ride for us. They were stopping every car and asking if they are going that way. Yes, first car took us. There was no other way. So you see, during your travels you can meet different people, really strange from you. Oh, nice photo. Okay, so those people are different from you, strange for you, but in most cases they are good. Of course, not everybody is good, not everybody is cheerful. You can meet bad people. Somebody, for example, stolen my shoes in Istanbul. but most of them are really great. You know, there was more than 1,500 drivers that took us, so that's a big number. But also, you think that you have to travel to the, you have to travel hundreds of kilometers to meet such a people, to be in some exotic place, but you don't have to do it. You've got to travel only a few kilometers out of Wrocław to meet such a people. For example, when I'm traveling on my bicycle, I even met a lady, it was around 100 kilometers out of Wrocław, that when she heard that we are traveling from Wrocław on bicycles, she thought, oh, this is so far away, maybe you will stop by for a tea or something. You really don't have to travel to Iraq to meet good people. But I encourage you to do so. Really, I encourage you to meet those people, to check it out for yourself. But even more important is to become those people, to become those good people that helps other people. Not to just get something from others, but to give to the world, to pay back your debts to the world. So, I encourage you to do so. Thank you for attention.